Now, 57 years after it was built, the second Niger Bridge is coming up quickly to alleviate the plight of the people, reduce the load on the old bridge, and boost the socio-economic potentials of the southeast.
The bridge is very nice. It's very good. So we believe that since the new Niger Bridge have passed, we believe that development can come.
Truly, the construction of a second bridge across the river Niger had long been identified as the panacea to the seemingly intractable gridlock and frustration on the old bridge. Until 2018, it was the subject of intense politicking. While President Shagari promised to build the bridge, General Ibrahim Babangida challenged Nigerian engineers to design it. From General Sani Abacha to successive governments, nothing much was done except perhaps for President Olusegun Obasanjo, who actually flagged off the construction of the bridge on the eve of his departure in 2007. His successor, Alhaji Omar Yaradua, had a short stay in office, but ahead of the 2015 general elections, President Goodluck Jonathan performed another groundbreaking ceremony and promised to do the bridge.
I remember that clearly. I was in my office, in the Sun newspapers, on that day, and I remember crystal clear that flag off and the things that were said about that bridge. And it's amazing that nothing happened. And then the then President Jonathan also went to that side. I remember clearly. That's why it's baffling that after all those body movements, nothing happened.
It was being used for politics. Every 4 years, they do flag off, they do ceremony. After the flag off, they remove everything, and then the bridge is forgotten. After another 4 years, at every election period, canopies are set, and then another flag off. So that was why when the president now gave his word, knowing who he is, that he's going to do this bridge, considered it a flagship project, and then followed through. Today, we're no more talking about flag off. We're now talking of commissioning.
The era that was most significant vis-a-vis Second Niger Bridge was the 16 years of the People's Democratic Party. Anytime elections were approaching, they would go there, make some body movements as if things were going to happen concerning the Second Niger Bridge. Once elections came and they got the votes of the Southeasterners, they disappeared. The next time, when elections were coming again, they would pretend that there was movement on Second Niger Bridge, and it would fizzle out again. Then came Muhammadu Buhari, a man from the northwest of the country, from Dara. In terms of affinity with the southeast, it's not much, except that we're all Nigerians.
Interestingly, while little was done during the period of bumper harvests from oil sales, President Muhammadu Buhari, who arrived the scene at a time of lean financial resources, became a game changer. Without the boastful promises and grandstanding of the past, President Buhari plunged headlong into the project. Today, he has succeeded where others before him failed.
I think I'm going to say it unequivocally that President Muhammadu Buhari, that is one of the greatest achievements that he has done for Nigeria. I'm not talking about Southeast, I'm talking about Nigeria as a whole. Because without that bridge, there will be no movement from Southeast to North. from southeast to west. So even going outside Nigeria, a lot of folks that come to Aba, buy goods, come to Orisha, buy goods, now have to transfer those goods to other nation states.
It is encouraging, it is nice to see that for the first time, we actually have an administration that has looked into that problem and preferred a real solution in the new Niger Bridge. So I think it's a positive step, one that if more of our leaders would emulate, that would make Nigeria a much better place for us to live in.
The second Niger Bridge is an engineering marvel being executed by Julius Berger, the international construction giant. Stretching to a length of 1.6 kilometers, the bridge is equipped with a 10.3 kilometer highway. The toll plazas in both directions of the facility have 8 lanes leading to the bridge. The Owerri interchange on the Onitsha-Owerri road is designed to provide direct access to the bridge from Obosi in Anambra State to Asaba in Delta. Construction of 2 secondary bridges at Amakom and Atani communities are also part of the total package.
All the 16 booths have been completed. The building also completed. The workshops and other ones, security house, they've been completed. Then the approach road on this project, we have 3 kilometers on Asaba end. Like I said, has been constructed. We only need to put the final layer of the asphalt. Then on the Onitsha end, the Anambra end, we have completed more than half of it.
On the eastern side of the bridge lies the ever-bustling Onitsha, a commercial hub that embodies the resilient and enterprising spirit of the people of the southeast. The Onitsha Main Market, reputed to be the largest in Africa, attracts visitors from across the continent and contributes to the hectic commercial environment of the city. As a result of the intense economic activities in Onitsha and beyond, traffic hold up on the old bridge is perpetual and frustrating. But the ongoing 7-kilometer approach road on the Onitsha side of the new facility will help to eliminate congestion and provide direct access to the second bridge. The idea is to connect the southeast and south-south regions seamlessly to the rest of the country.
You see, you're talking of a bridge that links Anambra State, southeast, Abia, Imo, to the entire Nigeria, coming through Lagos. All right, that is the route. All the containers that come from Lagos coming to the east, that's the route they use. It's quite enormous. It's something that, if you look at the economic benefit, you get very excited. There's quite a lot we can benefit from it, and it's going to impact very positively on the economy of the southeast.
It's going to lead to free flow of traffic. Of course, even our people who reside in other parts of the world, in other parts of the country, once there is a period of festivities where all of our people return home to celebrate Christmas, Easter, and what have you, they will not hesitate. Most of them will come back home, and coming back home brings happiness home. Economically, economic will become viable because goods will move freely between other parts of the country and the southeast. Business will boom, and everything will pick up.
On the other side of the bridge lies the serene city of Asaba, the capital of Delta State and once the colonial headquarters of the Southern Protectorate of Nigeria. Strategically located on the bank of the river, Asaba serves as the main entryway to the southeast from the Lagos axis. Here, traffic is usually heavy on its main highway, but to ease the flow and divert vehicles to the new bridge, a 3.3 kilometer approach road is also being constructed.
The second Niger Bridge is the artery between the western part and the eastern part of the country and the rest of the country. You can't quantify what it will do economically. Even apart from the economy, how about the comfort of the people? Going home at festive seasons, our brethren from east of the Niger love to travel at Easter, at Christmas, and other festive seasons. You cannot imagine the relief they will have on that bridge. They have slept on that bridge before. My friend spent 6 hours last December, but people who slept till the next day have that experience. So the relief will come for them.
President Muhammadu Buhari is a man of few words. When in 2018 he gave assurance that his administration was going to deliver the project, many people may have taken it with a pinch of salt and perhaps waved it off as a familiar story, a tale by moonlight repeatedly told by past politicians without commensurate action. 4 years after, the dream is set to become a reality.
I thank God I'm alive to see the working of that second Niger bridge. They have gone a long way. I am happy over what I see today. They are trying. I pray, let the Chukwu Okike Abioma guide them. So far they have gone.
It's been a subject of serious politicking over the years. So our people kind of developed a feeling that it will never come. But all of a sudden, here comes President Buhari, who now announced that he was going to do the bridge and immediately started work.
It waited this long because they made it political. Instead of really pulling up their bootstraps and working, they turned it to a political thing. That was why whenever elections were approaching, they would go there to hoodwink the people of the region to get their votes. They turned it into a political thing. But then came President Buhari, who was not interested in fooling anybody, who was not interested in the politics of it, was just interested in action.
Under this administration as well, the long-abandoned Onitsha River Port has been revived and may soon become a port of final destination for goods bound for the southeast, thereby decongesting the existing seaports in Lagos, Port Harcourt and other cities. Stakeholders are of the view that the second Niger Bridge will boost activities at the River Port and complement the multimodal transportation initiative of the administration.
Today, we talk of multimodal forms of transportation. You talk about the road, you talk about the rail, you talk about water, and things like that. So, this multi-approach is something that has a lot to do with impacting on the economy. So, here is the Onitsha River Port that has to deal with the water, and then here is the second Niger Bridge that has to do with the roads. But both complement each other.
To ensure compliance to schedule and quality delivery, the project site has witnessed high-profile visitors lately. Aside the Minister of Works, Babatunde Fashola, who pays regular supervisory visits to the site, the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, recently led top functionaries of the federal government to see the state of readiness of the bridge.
The Federal Executive Council has passed tolling policy, national tolling. National is for the nation as a whole. So which one will be concession, toll fares, and so on, that's secondary. Important, let us finish this road.
Similarly, the Minister of Finance, Hajia Zainab Ahmad, also came calling with the Managing Director of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Mr. Ucheoji, and Chief Executives of other relevant agencies. For the Minister, it was an inspection and assessment visit to be sure the 157 billion naira so far released has been well utilized.
I can report to Mr. President and say I have seen where all the 157 billion naira has gone to. This is a project that is very dear to His Excellency the President. It is designed to uplift the lives and livelihoods of the people of the southeastern part and the southwestern part of our country.
Indeed, the transportation industry has experienced unprecedented turnaround in the past 7 years. For a critical sector that supports socio-economic growth, it's never been this good. Apart from equipping the National Inland Waterways Authority to provide navigable pathways for the movement of goods and services, stupendous amount of resources have also been committed into developing a functional rail transportation system. In addition to the second Niger and local Oweto bridges, solid road networks that crisscross the country and connect the geopolitical zones have been constructed.
When the story of the Buhari administration is to be told, of course, we will talk about the second Niger bridge, we will talk about the Bodo Boni bridge, we will talk about the local Oweto bridge, we will talk about Lagos Ibadan Expressway, we will talk about the new ultramodern airport in Lagos, the one in Kano, the one in Port Harcourt. We will talk about the new runway in Enugu. We will talk about so many things.
Just as the River Niger provides legitimate employment and sustenance for many families, construction activities at the new facility have also given jobs and livelihood to many people from the region. In addition to this legacy infrastructure, critical road projects and monuments are also being executed in the zone. Despite these huge investments, political detractors had actually tried to sell the false narrative of hatred and marginalization to some gullible natives of the area.
With the developmental strides that the president has taken to the south, it's not just the second Niger bridge. What about the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, which the president made sure that rehabilitation of such road is completed? Other giant projects that the president has started and also completed in the southeast is an evidence that the president indeed does not hate the southeast.
Don't forget that time was when southeasterners, people of Igbo extraction, were controlling the levers of development. I'll give you an example. The Deputy Senate President from Southeast, Deputy Speaker from Southeast, Chairman Senate Committee on Works Southeast, Chairman House Committee on Works Southeast, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy Southeast, Secretary to Government of the Federation Southeast. And all through those periods, not 1 kilometer of our roads, federal roads, that were in terrible state, not 1 kilometer was addressed. And all these people I mentioned are from Southeast. Now it took somebody else who is not from Southeast to now address this infrastructural decay. Now face the reconstruction of these roads, this critical infrastructure. Just to mention a few of the things that this administration has done in the Southeast. And if somebody goes back and says, yes, Southeast, how do you demonstrate it?
This president bears malice to nobody. And he has cared for the Southeast as much as he cares for other parts of the country.
The second Niger Bridge is an important national asset. Aside easing traffic on the old bridge, it is an inter-regional integrator with the capability of boosting economic activities and development in the southeast. Already, the people are beginning to tap into the huge investment opportunities that come with the bridge.
You know our people, we are business people. We understand the dynamics and we take advantage of opportunities. It will bring a lot of development to the southeast, a lot. And even south-south, because the bridge is coming from Asaba to Onitsha and vice versa. So the development is not only for south, it's also for south-south.
Truly, when the story of the Muhammadu Buhari administration is told, the second Niger Bridge will be recorded among its greatest achievements.
When President Buhari would have been done and is gone to have his due retirement, and the story is told, what would never be forgotten will be his footprints on the sands of time in terms of infrastructure.
It's been 42 years now since St. Ambrose's Catholic Secondary School was established by the Catholic Church before it was taken over by the government. Several students have passed through the four walls of the school, just as several administrative staff have come and gone. But the one thing that has remained largely unchanged is the infrastructure and teaching facilities in the school. Year by year, things got worse. Classroom buildings began giving way. The classrooms themselves became inconducive for both teaching and learning. Things were literally in an abject state.
We have been managing teaching even when the rain is falling, the rain will be falling inside the classroom. We cannot abandon teaching. At times we mass students together when there is no conducive classroom. During the tenure of the past principal, Mr. Ogunbadejo Fola. So when he came to the school, he discovered that things will not be going on like this. So many classrooms are leaking, some roofs have even off, some buildings are collapsed. The parents are not able to do anything concerning it. So we be folding and then every year, the roofing have been taking away a lot of money. So he now decided to go spiritual by calling upon God. So every Thursday of every month, we used to gather together, spending 30 minutes, calling upon God. So we look for the names of some old students. We got the name from one of the old students called KK. We wrote their name on the pieces of paper. During the prayer time, we raised the name up. God to compel them to come.
Either by divine intervention or mere coincidence, something happened. One of the old students of the school decided to pay a visit. Multiple award-winning journalist Deji Bademosi graduated from the school 26 years ago as the senior prefect of the 1994 set.
I went there to do a story on the dilapidated state of the school. And there's a project we're actually doing, a project that I'm actually doing, known as Track Nigeria, being supported by the MacArthur Foundation. So the whole idea for me initially was to go there and highlight the dilapidated state of the school so that I could call the attention of the government to the situation there and to see if the government could at least come in there to help address the infrastructural problem there. But you know, when I got there, and because that's the school I actually attended myself, I was touched. And you know, I just felt rather than just tell the story and wait for the government to do something, that at least I could do something to help. I was really touched, and I decided, well, that at least we could do some renovation. So the whole idea was, okay, go there, renovate, and that was how it started.
An engineer was contracted to commence work on the site, but little did they know that the structure required more than the planned renovation due to the severity of the damage.
When I got there, all the foundation was already above the ground level, meaning that you can even be seeing the foundation footing already outside exposed, which anything can happen. The building can collapse at any time. After opening the space for the column and the second day, you know, the building is weak already, even with the exposure of the foundation, I said. So one side of the classroom gave way immediately.
the only thing we could do to salvage the situation was to pull down the entire building and, build a new one. And for me, that was something really huge. It was not something that I had actually planned for, considering the cost implication. So I summoned courage and I said, you know what, okay, you guys go ahead, pull the building down, we'll put up a new building.
It was a tough decision, but certainly worth it. The reconstruction officially kicked off in August 2019 under the direct supervision of one of the alumni of the school.
We left here like 26 years ago, and there was no any kind of maintenance since we left. So I supervised the building right from the scratch to where it is today, all to the glory of God.
As the new building started to take shape, it was hard to ignore the remaining dilapidated blocks of classrooms and abandon them to decay.
As one building was getting completed, I looked at the situation again and I felt, well, we can do another one. So I said, you know what, I looked at my pulse and I said, well, maybe I could just try the second one. And then the second one came down. The old building now came down and we started work on the second one. And then the third one as well, one of the old students there came to me and said, look, supposing I provide blocks for the foundation, and then, build it up to lintel level, would you mind to just take it over from there? And I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. Because I knew it was going to cost a lot of money, but, that was how the third building started. Then there was no plan to have a toilet. The school had no toilet. But then I felt, look, it wouldn't be nice at all to have these new buildings. You have the students there, and then they have no place to go ease themselves, and they have to make use of the bush. Again, I summoned courage, and I said, okay, you know what, let's put up a toilet facility there. And that was how the toilet facility came up. So right there now we have 10 toilets. I then thought, if you have a toilet, how then do you get water to service the toilet? And the school has no borehole. The school has a well that dries up during the dry season. And then, again, not planned for initially. Remember, I started by saying we wanted to do just one building. Not planned for. So I said, okay, let's get the borehole.
After the borehole, then came the landscaping and flooring of the school. As the school continued to get a facelift, it was almost unbelievable for staff and students who watched their wish become a reality.
It's a thing of joy to me. But on a daily basis, when I come to school, I have to look down and see the buildings, which is not common, it's one in town. I was made to know that there is no school that is having this type of building. No school. Is it the restroom? Is it the classroom? Is it the offices? Is it the type of furniture there? It is second to none, I must confess, and I'm very happy. In fact, about 5 teachers called me, sir, how can I get my transfer to your school?
And we start everything together. You understand? The foundation, the building, the roofing, the plastering, the painting, and everything. I was there with them, being one of the host students. By the time our students see what is going on in the school, they were all happy. You understand? By the time we want to do little works there, I have to call them. This is your class. You are going to use this class. So what can you people do for us? And they were happy in helping us. Packing sand, gravel, all these things, little things that they can do with joy. They were happy doing it for us, being their school. And I believe by the time we are going for new section now, we are going to have more students.
I felt so proud that at least I could contribute in my own little way to this present development. This project is single-handedly done by one person, a God-sent person, who is not a politician. He doesn't get free money from anywhere. He works hard to get his money, and he's not investing for any profit. Like I asked Deji, because we said, bro, what are you even doing this for? He said, Maurice, I'm doing it for God and for humanity's sake. That look, I don't need all these students for anything in my life. I don't need them to survive. I don't need them to get to any position. But someday, my children might need them. It's a very good thing. It's really done well. I feel so proud to be part of 94 set. I feel so proud to be a friend to Deji Bademosi for all what he's done. And I feel so proud to be part of this project.
The school, which was once looked down on, has now become a point of reference and top choice for people in the community.
People passing on the road, they were actually branching to see that could a better structure be on this school with what they have been seeing. So look at the design, look at the space that we managed to get what we have, and a very spacious classroom, corridor with a staircase that can ease the going and coming of the students. So in fact, the facility that is there make it far better.
The only thing that makes me happy is that these students will now learn in a good environment. And this will also enhance their quick grasp of whatever has been taught in school, makes them relax. You are safe. They feel safe now. I think the last time we went there, we saw the building. I couldn't imagine how they could understand what the teacher is saying. But one, you're not sitting well. You're either standing and you're receiving your lecture, or you're sitting with somebody. But with what we have on ground, I think the student will be happy, will learn well in that good environment.
Many young ones now, they are planning to come to St. Ambrose. Before, you see some parents, when they are passing by, they used to say, that's what they used to say it in our language. I myself then, I cannot say this is my school. But now, I can boast. This is the school I pass out from. So I'm very, very happy, and I'm using this medium to thank Deji Badmus for what he has done for our school. He rebuilt our school, and God will rebuild his life.
With the junior classes, also referred to as downhill, now wearing a new look, the school authority, in addition to their great show of appreciation, are appealing for the extension of this gesture to the senior secondary classes of the school as well.
Permit me to ask like an Oliver twist. If this structure could continue to the senior section, it would be very good. Not as somebody living in a modern building, coming to a leaking classroom, a classroom where there's no fan, a classroom where there's no, in fact, dusty, stinking, rotten chairs. The chalkboard is even not good. It will not be so good. Permit me to tell you that we don't have laboratories in the school. Every classroom in this school is leaking. It's dusty, smelling. I'm sorry I'm using these words. But if you care to look at them, you will not like them. So will it be for a student that is graduating from junior section to senior section? It will be demoralizing.
For the man who has single-handedly done all of these, his primary goal is to pass a strong message across to the government, old students, and the general public.
My hope and intention is that when the government or the governor, if the governor comes to commission this, that when he comes, he would at least see what an old student has done. And then that could serve as some kind of motivation for the government now to do something. And not just for the government now to do something, but also important for other old students to take a cue. I mean, those who have, been blessed to at least take a cue. And what I tell people is, I'm not a rich person, I'm not rich. It cost me so much. And, but you really don't have to be rich to do certain things. So as an old student, even if it's just a block or two you're able to contribute, that would go a long way. And also very important is that, people have always said journalists always take, they don't give. And this is to disprove that journalists we don't just report situations. So sometimes, journalism could make you do some very unexpected things. Do I plan to do more in the future? Yes, by the special grace of God, because to some extent, we are actually the government. So whatever, as individuals, whether individuals or collectives, not in government, whatever it is we can do to help make our society better, we should do it.
The first time I was here to locate the Ghanaian cane weaving community, a Nigerian told me point blank that these Ghanaians will steal my money. I was curious and I wondered why these two nationalities who share the same profession would have such level of animosity between them. And I'm here to find out why. If you're familiar with Maryland in Lagos, it is difficult to miss this beautiful display of handmade cane crafts. Beneath the Maryland Bridge, linking the Ojota area of the city, cane-based products such as chairs of all varieties, living room sitters, house decor, as well as baskets of all shapes and sizes are sold here. But behind this lush display of artistic brilliance lies a culture of discrimination against the migrant population of Ghanaian cane artisans, one which has been in practice for decades now. Unlike their Nigerian counterparts, Ghanaian cane artisans are restricted to a remote part of this cane weaving community. So what is the genesis of this unfair practice and why has it been perpetrated for so long? To find out, we paid a visit to Monkey Village, just behind the Maryland cane weaving community where the Ghanaian cane weavers live and work.
This is Monkey Village, right here in Mende, Maryland, Lagos, Nigeria. In what appears to be the outback of the area, Ghanaian cane weavers are not allowed to venture beyond these parameters. While Nigerians are allowed to display their products, Ghanaians serve as laborers who manufacture these cane products for a fixed price.
54-year-old Adeyemi Bolarinwa concentrates hard as he weaves this basket. His calloused hands work deftly, and in a matter of minutes, he finishes one of his orders. Bolarinwa's father is Nigerian, but his mother is Ghanaian. Despite his being a Nigerian, Bolarinwa cannot sell his products directly to buyers. He can only sell to a group of Nigerian cane weavers, who in turn sell directly to customers. It's a rule among the Cane Weavers Association here which restricts non-Nigerian cane weavers from dealing directly with customers.
They brought some job for one Nigerian man, according to the history, from 1986. Then the man delayed the job, and they saw another Ghanaian man. They went to, that's a Sheraton hotel. So they went to the Ghanaian man. The Ghanaian man did the thing in time as they want. So the contract go to that Ghanaian man. So then, now those people are the indigenes work against foreigners that they can share a place together. So the moment they granted that law still will work from 86 up to by this time. So Ghanaians don't have any choice to meet customers or something like sell in direct. So always we are in backyard that when they receive the order, they come and give us a job. That's the situation where we are facing now.
As migrant workers, Bolarinwa says he and other Ghanaians have no choice than to obey this restrictive rule. So they keep their heads low and make the best of their meager income.
A stranger cannot be like citizen. So we have no choice. And there's no any help. Because if someone came that we want to give you advance, they used to tell the person that this is a foreigner, we used to take your money around or something like that. So we have no choice. We are there in panic. And we just manage it because that's a handicraft. That's a hand job. That's my professional. No, actually, it's my professional. So anyhow, bear it. I'll manage it.
We asked Bolarinwa if the Ghanaian cane weaving community in Maryland had made any attempt to report to relevant authorities. He says no one has come to help despite many complaints.
We used to let people from Ghana embassy to come and interview us at times. But there's no help. There's no help. We try a lot. We join their group, Nagacon and this and that, but at times, the way the thing they go, we see that there's no help. So the work will be like a struggle, with a struggle for our needs. Anyhow, we manage it and bear it.
It gives further details of the mode of operation between the Nigerian cane sellers and the Ghanaian cane weavers.
We arrange every basket within price, where it's a popular no. Then any quantity where the person want to come and book from you, he can give you advance. Then after finishing the product, we take your balance. That's the way we are going. Then I submit for them, I take my balance. Some people are pay cash, some people can give you in half basis. He can give you advance. When you finish, supply the thing to the who come and done the work with you. Then you take your balance from. We have no chance because there's no shade. He cannot give you, as a foreigner, he cannot give you shade to shade your market. They share by themselves.
Kwaku Noah is another Ghanaian cane weaver in Maryland. For 15 years, Kwaku has struggled to make ends meet due to the trade inequality he suffers.
Maybe the price we are going to sell for woman as this back here. If I did roadside, one day, God goes see me about a better customer where I can sell for the person where I will see gain pass where I did. So it affects us. So if we are on the roadside, I'm sure say we go see better customer pass, better price pass what we are gaining as the back here.
Fed up with the unpleasant situation, a number of Ghanaian cane weavers have either moved back to their home country or adopted other trades. Now the once boisterous community has become a shadow of itself.
Before, we are more than 20 or 30 people. Right now, I remember maybe roughly, I can say about 5 or 4 people now. We remain. Before we are more than 37, but things know the balance. And then, you know, they get assist to support the work. Everything I'm money now, so if you know get any way to get something assist your business, you can go forward. So right now, I know they're easy for us. As you can settle another side like that, it's money, because to get a place to stay, it's money, but how to money no day on hand like that.
To confirm these allegations and to understand the root cause of the act of discrimination against the Ghanaian cane weavers in Maryland area of Lagos, I paid a visit to the chairman of the Cane Weavers Association in Maryland, Dennis Omadide. Surprisingly, Omadide confirms everything we've heard from the Ghanaian cane weavers. He explains that the Ghanaians are restricted for 2 major reasons. They work fast and they charge less. These 2 factors, he says, could disrupt the profit margins of Nigerian artisans.
To make the market so polluted, that's what I mean. But they produce fast. They produce fast. So by the time you are trying to draw a kind of item that will come to market, it's like this. Then when they overflow, then the market, that market will not depreciate on that area. The reason why we do that, then they are trying to frustrate the market in terms of sales in the beginning. So that's why we notice that instead of that to happen, let us stay on their own, then we should stay on our own.
Omadide says while the migrants are not allowed to mix with Nigerians and display their trade, they are however free to establish their business in other locations.
That is the normal procedure, the constitution, what we have. That when they come, they will work for us. We normally collect basket from them to sell to our customer. So we don't want them to close to us in that way. It's like they will know how much we are selling to the other. So that is why they not do it. But now, it is old. For now, they have assets free, direct to customer. But they are not the midst of us here. Some day for Abalikoro, some day at Tony Down. That is how.
So whose responsibility is it to protect the interests of Ghanaians in Nigeria? We had requested an official response from the Ghanaian consulate in Lagos to find out if the mission is aware of the discrimination and what it is doing to stop the menace. TV360 Nigeria did not receive an official response from the Ghanaian consulate, but in a meeting we had with the Consul General, Senator Gifty Bukari, key officials of the consulate, the president of the Ghanaian community in Lagos, Augustine Appiah, as well as the Ghanaian cane weaver, Charles Sapong, it appears the consulate is aware of the problem, but may not want to ruffle any further. I'm just coming out from a meeting with the Ghanaian Consulate General, Senator Gifty Bukari, who appeared irate about a request for an interview, especially the part that spoke about publishing the findings of this investigation with or without an official response from the consulate. Now the Consulate General declined to give an official interview on what she's doing to ensure that Ghanaian cane weavers in the Mende area of Lagos are not discriminated against. Now, our phones were confiscated and we are not allowed to take any recordings. As the second largest country with a migrant population of over 1.3 million, Nigeria has a national policy to address labor migration issues. Page 21 and 22 of the National Policy on Labor Migration clearly states that migrant workers have the right to negotiate by collective bargaining, enjoy freedom of movement, as well as upholding equal treatment and non-discrimination regardless of migration status. But it appears some Nigerian businesses are not willing to accommodate migrants. Director General of Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Nasima Shola Obadimu, says the unfair treatment of Ghanaian cane weavers is nothing short of bullying.
It's just a case of bullying. is to some level a case of harassment. You know, even within the Nigerian environment, you can open a shop and start selling pepper, and the second day some people will come to you that they want to seal your shop.
So is there any law in Nigeria limiting the trading activities of migrant workers in Nigeria?
We have this ECOWAS treaty that encourages free movement of goods and services within the West African sub-region. So for West African nationals, they can do their business freely. We have Nigerians doing businesses all along the West African coast. So if they are West African nationals, they can do their business. So far it is a legit business, and when they are operating within the laws of Nigeria, they are free citizens.
Sadly, the problem of discrimination of migrant workers is not peculiar